Hi, fashion lovers. My name is Eunice, creative of Eleganza TV, and you're welcome to my channel today. And today, we're going to be making a wide leg palazzo trouser. I'll be taking you through the materials that you'll be needing, the cutting and the sewing process, and some tips to ensure a perfect fit. Here is a sneak peek of the final product. Aren't they gorgeous looking? So to get started, you'll be needing a lightweight fabric, measuring tape, scissors, pins, and pattern paper to get your wide leg palazzo pants. If you're excited to make your own palazzo pants, give this video a thumbs up and do subscribe for more fashion tutorials. Okay, let's get started. So I begin by ruling a straight line on the top of the pattern paper to serve as my starting line. And now we'll measure the length of the palazzo pants. I made use of 45 inches plus 1 inch for folding allowance. But on the pattern paper, I'll be marking 45 inches. When cutting on my fabric, I'll be adding the 1 inch for folding allowance at the hem line. Okay. Next, we'll measure and mark the hip line. From your waistline, measure and mark your specific measurement. I'm making use of 8 inches for mine. And then I'll go ahead to mark 8 inches. And my crouch line, I'll also be making use of 11 inches. So to get your crouch line, you're going to divide your round hip measurement by 4. And that's how you get your crouch line. And I'll be making use of 11.5 rather because of the ease. I want my pants to be free. I don't want it to be tight on the crouch line. So that's the reason why I'm making use of 11.5 inches. So just go ahead to add 0.5 inch to your actual crouch line measurement, okay? So you're going to continue measuring the crouch line and the waistline on the pattern paper to get a straight line, okay? So guys, the next thing we're measuring is your knee length. You don't really need this, but I just went ahead to mark it out because I will first of all be cutting a straight pant and then I will be turning the straight pant to a wide leg palazzo pant. But you can just go ahead to follow the process, mark your knee length measurement and then rule a straight line. So now we have all the horizontal lines that we need. We have our waist, hip line, crouch line, knee line, and the hem line, which is the full length of the pants. So then on my waistline, I'll be going in by 1.5 inch, and then I'll connect from that point to my hip line with a slight curve using my pattern master. And then from that hip line, you're just going to be using your straight ruler to connect straight down to the hem line, just as you can see. So next, on my waistline, I'll be taking quarter of my waist measurement, which is my waist measurement divided by 4. And then I will mark a point there. Then I'll add 2 inch for sewing allowance. So guys, there's a reason why I'm adding 2 inches for sewing allowance. So just continue doing what I do, alright? So quarter of my waist measurement with 2 inches for sewing allowance, that will be on my waistline. Then on my hip line, I'll be taking quarter of my hip measurement with 1 inch for sewing allowance, okay? Now I will be using my ruler to connect the points together. So next, on my crouch line, which is a third horizontal line, as you can see, I'll be taking my round lap measurement. So you need to measure your round lap and divide it by 2. So after doing that, I will add 1 inch for sewing allowance. Then on that 1 inch point, I'll be using my curved ruler to connect that to the point I marked on my hip line, just as you can see, okay? So what I have on my round lap, which is my crouch line, I'll go ahead to mark the same measurement on the hem line and I'll just use my straight ruler to connect it straight down. So after getting that done, I'll be dividing what I have on the crouch line into two to get the midpoint of the pants pattern. And then I'll take that measurement all the way to the M line to get a straight line. So after doing that, you're just going to connect it to your waistline with your straight ruler. So next, on your waistline, you're going to come down by 1 inch on that crouch area, and then you'll be using your ruler to slant it to your waistline on the side parts. So guys, this is how you achieve your straight pant. So if you're looking to make a straight pant, this is the pattern you just need, and you can go ahead to cut out the pattern and place on your fabric and also cut your back. But since we're making a wide leg palazzo pants, we'll be slashing and spreading that mid line that I marked. Okay, so I'm just going ahead to cut out my straight pants pattern, and then I will slash and spread that straight line that's at the midpoint. So I placed the pattern on top of the fabric that is on fold, and then I went ahead to spread out the open part. So you're going to spread it with about 6 inches. If you are going higher than 6 inches, then you're going to need a lot of fabric. So I failed to mention the yardage of fabric I used. So I used 4 yards of fabric for making these pants, almost 4 yards of fabric for making these pants. So I spread the bottom part of my fabric with 6 inches, and then I went ahead to pin the pattern to the fabric. And then on the hemline, I went ahead to add 1 inch for folding allowance, like I said I'll be doing in the beginning of the video. So after connecting that, I will go ahead to cut the pattern just as it is on the pattern paper. I'll be cutting like so on the fabric, so I will not be adding any sewing allowance because I've already added sewing allowance before when cutting the pattern. All right. So guys, after cutting, this is how it looks. I'll go ahead to place on my fabric to cut out the back, the remaining part of my fabric to cut out the back. So after doing that, I will go ahead to extend the crouch line, and then I will be measuring 2 inches there. Then after marking that, I'll go over to the waistline, and then I will extend the waistline upward just like I did for the crouch line, and then I'll be marking 2 inches. So that is the 1 inch I removed from the front pattern with an extra 1 inch to raise the back up. Then after doing that, on the crouch line, I went ahead to measure 1.5 inch. Then I'll be connecting the 3 points together just as you can see. So when drawing the pattern, I realized that that part I was explaining cuts from the video. But on the crouch line, I used 2 inches. Then on the waistline, I came up by 2 inches and then 1 inch for the zipper allowance. Then on that depth, I made use of 1.5 inches. So after doing that, I'll be using my ruler to connect from that 2 inches I went up by for the back of the waist to my actual waistline to the side parts. Okay. Then after doing that, I'll go ahead to add 2 inches to the side part, just as you see me doing, the part that has the crotch. So guys, after doing that, this is what I have as my back pattern. I'll go ahead to start cutting it out. And then for the side part, I'm not going to be adding any sewing allowance, okay? So for this wide leg palazzo pants, we're not putting any dart on the waistline. So this is how the front and the back looks after cutting it. So we'll start by sewing the front crouch line first. So this is my front pattern, front side facing front side, and then I'll be sewing on the crouch line with 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I'll just go ahead to pin it and take it to my sewing machine to stitch. So guys, this is the back pants. You can see that it's bigger than the front. So I will start joining the flap with half an inch from the bottom, and as I'm going up, I'll be increasing it to 1 inch. So you go ahead to join the flap, and this is where my zipper allowance is going to be. So you first of all be joining 1 inch, then when you shape your pants, then you can increase the zipper allowance depending on your preference. So I'll be sewing with a free stitch because I'll be losing it to fix my zipper like I've said before. And then I'll go ahead to join it. I'll take it to my sewing machine and join that line that I've already drawn. So guys, right here is the front of the pants after joining the crotch line. So the next thing I'll be doing now is to cut my pocket. So I'll be using my pattern paper to illustrate how to cut a pocket. So for the length of the pocket, I'll be making use of 11.5 inches, which is what I already have here. And then on the top part, I'll be making use of 7 inches. And at the bottom part, I'll be making use of about 8 or 9 inch. So after getting this point, I'll go ahead to rule the 2 points together using my ruler. Now you can increase your length of your pocket depending on what you want. If you want it longer, then you can go down with about 13 to 14 inches. So after getting that line, I'll be using the curve part of my ruler to connect it to form a curve. And then that straight part will be on fold. So that's how I'll be cutting on my fabric. So I'll go ahead to cut out this pattern and place on my fabric. So this is the fabric I'll be using for my pocket. I went ahead to fold it into two, and then I'll fold it again into another two to make it four, right? So this is because it is going to be for the two side. So I'm cutting for the two side of the front. So after folding it into four, I place my pattern paper on it, and then I will just pin it and cut out the pattern on the fabric. So after cutting, I have my two pockets facing. So next, I'll be showing you how to fix the pockets to your main fabric. So guys, I'll be fixing on one side of the pocket. I'll be showing you how to fix on one side, and then I'll do the other one off camera. So you're going to open up your pocket like so, and then you'll be placing it on top of your fabric. If it has a front side, you place it front side facing front side, just like so. The pocket is going to be on the exact shape of the side part, is going to be on the exact shape of your pants. Then on the top part, you're going to measure about 2.5 to 3 inches, and then for the length, you'll be making use of 7 inches or 8 inches. Okay, so if you want a loosed pocket, you can go ahead to increase the measurement I took. On the waist, I took 2.5 inch. If you want a loose pocket, you can increase it by 3 or 3.5, but I like my pocket to be small and fitted. Okay, so you're just going to use your straight ruler to connect the 2 points, just as you see me doing, and then you're going to pin your pocket facing to your pants, and you'll be sewing directly on that line that you chalked. So guys, in case you don't quite get how to fix your pockets, don't worry, I'll be showing you how I fix my pockets on my sewing machine. So I'll take it over to my sewing machine now and stitch that line. Now you can iron interfacing to the main fabric if you want. So I went ahead to start sewing with an hemming gum because after sewing, I just want to iron it and make sure that the main fabric and the lining are together so that the pocket lining will not be coming out. I hope you get. So that's the reason for the hemming gum. So I'll go ahead to cut out the excess and then top stitch on the lining parts. So when I say lining, I'm referring to the pocket parts. So I'll be stitching on the pocket lining parts. So I'll place my seam. I'll go ahead to push my seam to the pocket side and then top stitch. So guys, after sewing and ironing, this is what I have. I went ahead to just iron it to make it relaxed. So I'll go ahead to fold my pocket on the inside, just as you see me doing, and then I will be pinning on that waistline. You can see the way I folded the pocket on the inside. So I'll go ahead to pin the pockets on the waistline. And then I'll turn it over to the back and sew on the pocket facing. So I will join the both side of the pocket facing together with 1/2 inch. So I'll take it over to my sewing machine now and show you what to do. So guys, you can see how my pocket looks on the front, right? I'll turn it over to the back. Now the pocket facing, as I've already pinned it, I'll go ahead to sew with 1/2 inch till I get to the end part. And then after sewing, you're going to make sure that the pocket facing is flat and relaxed on the inside before you sew on the waist, all right? So after you're done sewing on the waist, you're going to make sure that your pocket is flat and relaxed like so, and then you sew the main fabric and the pocket together on the side part. You're just going to give it a little bit of stitch on the side, okay? So guys, this is what I have for my pockets. You're going to make sure that that space of the pocket on the waist is the actual 2.5 inch you cut out before. So guys, I've gone ahead to fix the pocket on both sides of the front, and I'll be bringing the back fabric now, the back part of my pants. So I'll place it on top just as you see me doing. So the next thing I'll be doing for my pants is to join the crouch line. I will place the front and the back crouch line together. Make sure that that line is on the midpoint, that both of them are equal. And then I will use my pin to just secure it. And then I'll just go ahead to pin on both sides of the crouch line till I get to the hem line. And I'll take it to my sewing machine and sew with 1/2 inch. So guys, after sewing, as you can see, I just went ahead to iron the seam of camera. So to get a neat work, you should sew and iron. So the next thing we'll be doing now is to shape the pants. I'll go ahead to measure my round waist measurements divided by 4, and then I will mark that point from the midpoint of the front crouch line. I'll go ahead to mark the quarter of my waist measurements. So if you're dividing your waist measurement by 4, meaning you're taking the measurement from the midpoint of your crouch line. But if you're dividing it by 2, meaning you're taking it for the whole of the front waistline, just as you see me doing. So I went ahead to mark my whole waistline, which is my waist divided by 2 on the waistline to shape my pants, all right? Then I will just go ahead to connect that to my hip and use 1/2 inch. So from that waistline measurement, I will just connect to my hip with 1/2 inch and continue connecting till I get to the hemline. So I also need to bring the camera up close so you can see from my actual waistline measurement. I use my curved ruler to just draw a slight curve to my hip line. I marked 1/2 inch there, and you're just going to continue sewing with 1/2 inch till you get to the end. So after joining to the end, I noticed that the length of my back was now a bit longer than my actual length. So I think that was a mistake from the cutting. I'll go ahead to trim it after I'm done sewing the pants. So guys, what I later did was, after shaping it like the way I said I was going to shape it before, I had to put on the pants. I didn't video that part, but it was now too big. I just didn't like the way it was too big. So what I did to reduce the size was I measured my waist to hip measurements, and then for that hip length I came in by 1 inch. Then instead of 1/2 inch on the hip, I came in by 1 inch, and then I just continued sewing 1 inch till I get to the end of the pants. So you can either do it like that, or on the hip line you can just take quarter of your hip measurement and add 1 inch for ease. Okay, so just do whatever best suits you. So I'll go ahead to reshape it again. So guys, this is the waist of my trouser. Before fixing your band, you go ahead to take your waist measurements divided by 2, because now I folded my pants into 2. So I went ahead to mark it to get my zipper allowance space. So after marking it, my round waist is 35 inches, divided by 2 is 17.5. So I have about 2 inches for my zipper allowance, okay? So instead of that 1 inch I used before, making use of 2 inches for the zipper allowance on the waist. So I'll go ahead now to redraw the shape of my zipper allowance, or the length I'll be using. So 2 inches for the waistline, and then 1.5 inch as I'm going down. Then I'll just go ahead to connect to form the new space, which is the new shape of the crotch line where I'll be sewing my zipper allowance to, okay? So when I want to fix my zipper, I'll be following that line. So I'll go ahead to sew from my crotch line to a certain point where my zipper is going to stop. So guys, I went ahead to cut a straight fabric which is going to serve as my band, and the width of the fabric is 5 inches. Then for the length, I made use of the round waist. What I measured on the round waist with my zipper allowance was the length I use in cutting the band, okay? And then I went ahead to iron interfacing to the band. You can use a paper stay or gum stay or whatever. So you're just going to notch the midpoint of the band and place it on the midpoint of your trouser. Then you're going to sew with half an inch till you get to the zipper allowance. So I'll just go ahead to pin the band to the main fabric and then take it to my sewing machine to sew. Then after doing that, I will be weaving the inside to make it neat. So guys, after fixing the band, I will go ahead to fix my zipper for the back. So guys, after fixing the waistband to the pants, I went ahead to fix my zipper. If you want to see how I fixed the zipper to the trouser, just let me know in the comment section. I will be making a short video about it. And then I'll go ahead to trim off that excess that I have on the hem line. And after trimming it on both sides, I'll go ahead to fold the bottom of my trouser. Here is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and found it helpful. Making your own wide leg palazzo pants can be such a rewarding project as it was for me. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more DIY fashion tutorials. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. And please, I would love to see your creations. Share your finished pants with me on Instagram. You can tag me on my Instagram handle, which is on the screen, at Eleganza TV. Thanks for watching and happy sewing. See you next time.